to tell you about Leanne. I turned 50 in February. And I thought, you know, I want to do something really fun, like go to a Terame spa for a week with my friends, something like that. And I met Leanne, and she invited me. She told me about a medical mission trip. And I'm a nurse, so I'm like, medical mission trip. And then she said, going to Haiti. And I'm like, Haiti? 50th birthday, medical mission trip, Terame. But I went.
You became a doctor in here.
I know, I did get promoted to doctor.
Yes.
So, you know, the neat thing is, the plans that we have are not always the plans that God has, but they're really better. Can you put this in here for me? Thank you. Okay. All right. Now, what I want to start talking about is as women, we love beauty, correct? I mean, Terame, everybody wants to be here. Unfortunately, I'm not talking about skincare. But Terame, I mean, everybody loves that. As women, we love beauty. You look at magazines, In Style magazine, Cameron Diaz, she's rocking. I mean, she's getting old, but she's looking good. Okay, all right, so what you see here is ways to wake up gorgeous. Last night, I was so tired after work, I fell asleep, and I put coconut oil in my hair. I don't know that. And so my husband wakes me up, and he's like, honey, do you have oil in your hair? And I did. Okay, so we hear that, we see that. Here in the Wall Street Journal magazine, which is supposed to be finances, brain power, natural perfection, Julia Roberts. Okay, here, you try to get away from it all and do some yoga to work on the spirit. Okay, let's see what we have here. Yoga, sex, and ethics. Okay, aging and body image. We cannot get away from this. As women, I think that we were designed to love beauty. You look at, what's the sweet little baby's name? Elizabeth. And she's how old? 18 days. Look at this baby. She's got the pink thing in their hair. Like, okay. And the socks. Okay, that is total girl world. I mean, yeah. Look how beautiful this is. And it doesn't just stop here. My mom was 85 years old. She was my best friend, one of my best friends in life. And even to her death, that woman was loving beauty. I have to tell you a funny story. I have permission to tell this. My mom came here for my son's graduation, and so she was planning on going to high school graduation. And they played baseball, and they ended up winning the state championship. So we didn't have graduation. Instead, we were at baseball games. So my mom, 85 years old, is wearing some white pants. And she didn't have too many options of clothing. So we went, me and my mom and my son's girlfriend. And my mom says, Lydia, she's from Brazil, so she had a little accent. And she said, all I have is leopard skin panties. And she said, do you think anyone's going to notice my white panties? And my son's girlfriend, talk about tight and perky. She's smoking. And so I said, Mom, believe me, with Victoria standing next to you, nobody's going to be looking at your panties. And she got offended. She said, well, thanks a lot. I said, Mom, I'm just saying. I said, I'm the same way. I mean, it's just the way it is. And this even transcends cultures. We went to Haiti on the medical mission trip, and we didn't have, you know, here, these kids in this orphanage, there's 30 children, they don't have electricity, they don't have running water, so the kids have to go way out in the back to go to the bathroom in the dark, and it was just sobering. And so I had a little flashlight, And I was, finding my way in the flashlight, and then I wanted to take a picture of some of the girls. So I got the flashlight and put it on there, and Amanda took the picture of the girls. Before you know it, every girl was a supermodel with the light. So no matter what your circumstances are, even if you don't have running water, women want to be beautiful. That resonates with who we are. It's just how we're made. And the thing about it is, it's a strength. But any strength to an excess can become a weakness. So, enter number 1. There's a verse in the Bible that says, we have this treasure in earthen vessels, or jars of clay, to show us the power is from God and not ourselves. So a vessel is designed to hold something. So as women, we are like a jar of clay. We're vessels designed to hold something. So what happens is, as women, we love beauty. We love the shape. We love the feel. We love the curves. Sometimes we're a little too curvy, not curvy in the right places. We get a little critical of ourselves. But we love perfection. We love the beauty of perfection. So what I'm talking about tonight is the myth of perfection. So in my life, as a vessel, I had a perfect little formula. Joy. You put Jesus first, others second, and yourself last. And when you do that, you're happy and everything's wonderful. But then what happens when life doesn't go according to your plan? And, in fact, my husband and I, when we dated in high school, we always dreamed we'd get married and have a little girl and name her Joy. And we got married, and I'm so, so grateful. But guess what I had? A little boy, and another little boy, and another little boy. And it's taken me 3 to show me that that is the J-O-Y. And that God's plan is far better for me and my life than I could ever dream or imagine. So in my life, I want it to be perfect. We all want it to be perfect. But then something happens. What happens when your hopes and dreams are shattered? Or when your perfect plans aren't perfect anymore? Well, what happens then, if you're like me, is you get out the cover-up. And you become a master of cover-up. That's the thing, as you were talking about the facial, I was thinking, what does this do for bags? Does this do anything for the bags and the wrinkle, the eye issues? But when I had issues in my life, as we all have things that we deal with, we get the cover-up. Because I don't want anybody to know that, my dad was a pastor and, ministers, we're supposed to fly in and save the world. And as a nurse, we're the healers. But what happens if I need help? Well, so I want to get on my cover-up. And then when you get cover-up, there's a lot of different kinds of cover-up. There's a yellow tone, there's a white tone, there's a powder. You got to buy all the brushes that go with it. It's hard work to always cover everything up. But that's what we do. When life isn't perfect, we want to cover up those cracks in our perfection, in our idea of perfection. And we all want to do that. And so, one of the things, and I'll give you an example. Oh, I forgot to set my timer.
No worries.
Okay, no worries. All right, I'll set it now. I'll give you an example. My husband and I, when we got married, we got our perfect little house. And it was little, but it was perfect. We bought it in a nice little neighborhood. We fixed it up, and it was just perfect. And then we went away one weekend. And when we came home, usually he would walk in first, but this time I walked in first. So I walked in the door. We were only gone for a night. And I was like, it looks like we have a dog. And we didn't have a dog. Because I walked in and the trash was everywhere. And I was like, that's strange. The cabinets were open. It's like, that's strange. The microwave door was open. There's hamburger in there. The table was set. They made spaghetti. I go into my bedroom, my nurse's outfit was hanging up in there with my name on it and everything, so they knew who I was. And in my bed, they had peanuts and cheese. And then I'd go in the bathroom, and they had gone to the bathroom, and the spaghetti did not agree with them. And then I went in the next room, the study. Papers were strewn everywhere. And then I go in another room. The sofa was slid up, and a quilt that my mom had given me that was hung on the wall was all sliced up. And so, as I look back, what that says to me is that any time there is a beautiful vessel, like each and every one of you, you're a treasure, you're beautiful, you're designed perfectly. Every time there's a plan like that by our Creator, there's also a plan to steal, kill, and destroy. And it shows no mercy. It doesn't care how perfect your house is, how nice a person you are. The job is to steal, kill, and destroy. And one of the things I really enjoyed learning when I went to Mrs. America is that no matter how you look at someone else and you think, oh, they never have issues, when you get to know them, everybody has issues. Nobody is perfect. And so sometimes we think, if I was just smarter, if I was just prettier, if I was just this, if I had that job, I wouldn't have these issues. The truth is, we're human and we're imperfect. And each and every one of us has something going on. And there's a story that someone told me, and it's always stuck with me, and I love this, so I'm going to share it with you. It's about a little girl who went to the fair, and she won some blue plastic beads. And so she loved these blue plastic beads, and she wore them everywhere. And she'd wear them to the park, to the pool, you know, playing. They'd get dirty and sweaty and nasty, and every night when she'd go to bed, her mom and dad would tuck her in and they'd say, why don't you take off your blue beads so you don't get tangled up in them while you sleep, and you know, it's a safety hazard. And she's like, no, these are mine. And she was clutching to them. And night after night, they put her to bed, and she would never take them off. No, I've got to have these. And so one night, when she went to bed, she said, Dad, I want to give you my blue beads. I want you to hold these for me till the morning. And when she gave them to her father, he reached in his pocket and he pulled out a strand of beautiful pearls. And he said, my precious daughter, I have had these beautiful pearls for you all along, but I couldn't give them to you till you were willing to open up your hands and let go of those blue beads. And that's how it is in our life. Sometimes we hold on to the imperfections. We cover them up, and we try so hard, and we hold on because we don't want anybody to see that we don't have it together, that we're not perfect. If they really knew this about me, they wouldn't be asking me to speak. You know, whatever it may be. If we hold on. And once we let go and stop covering up, what happens is our Heavenly Father gives us far more than we can dream or imagine. And so in reality, what we see is that this vessel that we're designed to be, these beautiful women, it's not about us. And it doesn't matter if we do things great or not as great or whatever it is, that's all fine. But the truth is that it is what is inside that matters. And so here you see the light that shines through the vessel. So as we can let go of our stuff and stop covering up and being ashamed and being insecure and being embarrassed when we're asked to do something, go ahead and let the light, which is Jesus Christ, shine through those cracks. And then nobody cares about the cracks. All they care about is that light. And that's how God has made us to be. And so what happens is that when we do that, Jesus sets us free. And if you think about it, if there's a butterfly in a cocoon, that butterfly has to struggle to get out of there. But once it gets out, it's in full bloom and it's beautiful. And that's how it is in our lives. Instead of covering up the cracks and being crack addicts with all of our cover up, just say, God, shine your light through me. Because you know what I've learned? Nobody really wants to hear how great you are anyway. Who really cares? That's not, as women, that's not what impresses us. Do you really want to hear about the perfect man who does the perfect thing? We really don't want, and the perfect kids. No. We really want to hear about the things that make us real, because that's where we connect woman to woman and heart to heart. And there's another verse in the Bible where it talks about in Corinthians, it says, what I want to do is boast about my struggles, and I want to boast about my inadequacies. I want to boast about the cracks in my little perfection, because that way the power of God can be glorified. And then it's not about me, but it's about Him. And so that's what it's all about. So that's my hope and my prayer, is that as women, that you will just embrace Christ in you, because that is our only hope of glory.